The distant goal of 1000 days was now right around the corner. I had overcome so many enemies and survived where all hope had been lost. Whatever happened, I have to push forward. No matter the enemies, the setbacks, the costs, failure isn't an option. The Hardcore series returns on day 801. I needed orange dye, so I spent the first part of the day gathering flowers. I also wanted some honey, so I grabbed some bee nests. Imagine just chilling when all of a sudden some guy literally steals your entire house. Hey guys, thanks for all the food, I really appreciate that. I spent the night doing some local deforestation. I began day 802 with some terraforming. It's not related to all those beehives I gathered, this hill just looks insanely ugly. I got bored and decided I might as well start on my newest project. I wanted to build a greenhouse. Day 803 I was still building, adding a nice dark oak frame. I used the dye from a few days ago to make this orange glass roof. I wonder how long you're gonna be in there for. I scanned the villagers because that's what they're there for and cooked up some glass with my auto smelter. Day 804 I continued working on the outside of the greenhouse. I made this trellis using some spruce fences and I think it turned out well. At night a wandering trader showed up selling none other than complete garbage. Just close your eyes, alright? I began work on the interior of the greenhouse using some coarse dirt. Day 805 I made some tables and placed down the bee nests. For the finishing touches I added some leaves and glowberries to the ceiling and I love the atmosphere in here. Day 806 I added these log fences to the outside of the greenhouse and chucked in a few flowers. Most of the day was spent organising a bunch of junk that I'd slowly been building up for the last 100 days or so. I completely run out of dark oak logs and flew out to get more. I spotted this full iron zombie and luckily I had a name tag on me. Also, while I box him in, I just want to point something out. So it's well known that a monster wearing a helmet will be protected from sunlight. However, what some people don't know is that the helmet will take damage from the sun until it eventually breaks and then the monster will burn up. That's why I always fully box in rare monsters, otherwise they will eventually die to sunlight. With the dark oak gathered, I could start extending this wall on day 807. Then I had an idea, which does involve me destroying the floor. There's a town in Skyrim, I think it's called Riften, it's the one where you join the Thieves Guild. Anyway, there's a marketplace there and I wanted to build something similar. Day 808 I was adding a few little market stalls as well as scattering around some hay and barrels in order to make the area feel more alive. Instead of using torches, I hid some sea lanterns under grey carpet. In order to stop phantoms from bothering me, I actually slept for once. Day 809 we've got some really entertaining path building. I decided another nice detail for the market would be a few horses, so I headed out to tame one. I rode this one back home and we made a sick jump over this chasm which I definitely got on my first try. I was drinking Pepsi at the time and ended up naming him after it. Sorry about kind of ruining your life with that name. Here's some diamond armor I guess. Day 810 I was in the mood for some scamming, so I visited my pumpkin and melon farm. Bro, I know you're like 2,000 emeralds in debt, I'm sorry. I then went out searching for another horse, but not just any old horse. I was looking for a black one, which are my favourite kind. After some searching I found one and decided to name her Wraith. We rode back home, or at least I thought we did, until I realised we'd been going in the opposite direction. I really could not be bothered to travel over 2,000 blocks back, so I decided to take a shortcut through the nether. I had to build a few bridges to make sure Wraith could get back safely. Day 811 it was time to begin. I was pretty worried about a ghast showing up and ruining everything, but it all went perfectly. At least, it did until the final part. Wraith got stuck in the wall when she went through the nether portal, and unfortunately I couldn't save her. This actually made me sad. I know it's a Minecraft horse at the end of the day, but I really wanted her to make it back. So what do you do when you're sad? Build a path. Absolutely terrible advice, but it worked for me. Day 812 I headed over to the nearest mushroom biome because I also wanted to take home a Mooshroom. Yeah, sorry, I actually never got my boat license. The Mooshroom's name was decided by my Discord and we agreed on Mooshi. Also, if you want to join my Discord, the link's in the description. I post a lot of updates and behind the scenes stuff about my hardcore world. I had sworn to protect Mooshi with my life and it was my duty to get her home safe. Hey guys, I'm back again. What happened to the other Mooshroom? I'm not taking any questions on this boat trip. Day 813 I was transporting Mooshi 2.0 across land instead of in a boat. She ended up taking some damage and I really didn't want a repeat of last time. I returned home and grabbed some healing potions in order to make sure she was back at full health. Night fell as we headed back, and man, if a creeper blew her up while we were barely 100 blocks from my base, I probably would have uninstalled this game. Luckily nothing happened and it all ended happily ever after. What I wasn't happy about was that a villager had despawned from my iron farm. No clue how he managed that one, but it's a pain in the neck. So day 814 I was experiencing pure agony as I tried to move a new villager over to the farm. By some absolute miracle I managed to get him in, and now the farm should be fixed. I say should because it just didn't work for a solid 10 days, but it does eventually get going again. I had to spend the night sorting out the minecarts for my pumpkin and melon farm. This place is my prime source of scamming, so it's gotta be in perfect shape. Day 815 I grabbed a bunch of pumpkins and melons from the farm and made a bunch of profits. I should probably get you out there one day. I headed into the nether because there were a few things I wanted to get. I was going to build a custom mushroom forest for Mooshroom 2.0, so I grabbed some blocks as well as some twisting vines. I couldn't decide where I wanted to build the forest and ended up running around all night like an absolute idiot. Day 816 I realized my iron farm wasn't working and decided to AFK for a few minutes and see if anything happened. No golems spawned and I ended up going out to gather dark oak wood. Unfortunately I had a lot of terraforming ahead of me as this whole area needed sorting out. Day 817 I was still going. Didn't really have a clue what I was doing, but that's me 90% of the time anyway. Day 818 I wanted to build the mushroom forest on this plateau, which meant it was time for some terraforming. This wandering trader must have mistaken me for a villager. I mean, come on mate, 1 emerald for a pumpkin, are you joking? Obviously I just did what anyone would. I terraformed for the whole day and decided to build some custom cliffs. I've never really built anything like this before, but by day 819 I've made good progress. I started work making a cliff on the opposite side. With the cliffs kinda done, I could start work on the mushrooms. Or at least I could until the anti-fun brigade showed up. I couldn't be bothered to deal with them and instead went to bed. Day 820 I began building the first mushroom. I also added this path running through as well as some plant pots on top of end rods to look like mini mushrooms. Day 821 I tried rebuilding this mushroom, but it just looks stupid no matter what I tried. Eventually I got it sorted and made something a lot better. I also made this green mushroom using melon blocks. Day 822 I was going for as many colours as possible. I added this small purple mushroom, a brown one, and even an orange one. Day 823 it still needs a lot of work, but it's starting to look good. My crippling scamming addiction reached new heights, which is probably not something I should be proud of. We've also got a new yellow mushroom to add to the collection. Day 824 I was doing some path building. Do you want to watch me build a path for 10 minutes? Yeah, I didn't think so. I visited my ocean monument because I needed to craft some more sea lanterns. Day 825 I was gathering up a ton of materials. It was time to build one of the most dangerous farms in Minecraft. Raid farms can go horribly wrong, and I had seen Dan TDM lose his hardcore world because of one.
Oh no! Oh no, I got too close. I got too close. I got too close. Oh no.
Also, I'd like to add that this farm uses a cake as one of its materials. A cake is going to help me farm some of the strongest monsters in the game. Unfortunately, before I could harness the godlike powers of the cake, I had to AFK my creeper farm all night. Day 826, I began searching for an ocean near this pillager outpost to build the farm. For the first part of the farm, you need to get a villager up onto this platform. Now there's a slight problem. There's no villagers anywhere near this place, and trying to move villagers long distances makes me want to bang my head on a wall. But then the world seed was like, nah mate, you know what, here's an outpost, village and an ocean right next to each other. Enjoy yourself. Day 827 I was trying to set up a nether portal when I accidentally set myself on fire, but we're not going to talk about that. I didn't have a flint and steel to light it, so I headed back home to grab a few more supplies and then got to work building the farm again. The village was overrun with monsters, probably because I killed the iron golem, and me and this villager escaped in a boat. I mean, it was really slow and it was more like a kidnapping than an escape, but whatever, that's not important. Day 828 I got the villager onto his tiny platform where he's going to stay for the rest of his life. I then started work on the farm. For most of the night I was building up this huge glass tube which is going to be a bubble elevator. Day 829 I realized I'd forgotten to bring repeaters with me. As I headed over to get some stone, I spotted this desert temple, and I was definitely surprised with the loot I found. I did a bit of caving in order to get some more redstone and then went back to the farm. I'll leave a link to the tutorial in the description below. It's an insanely strong farm. Day 830 I was still building and placed down the almighty cake. What does it do? No idea. This farm is one of the most complex things I've ever built, and I also have no clue how any of it works. We're gonna skip ahead to day 832 where I finished the farm. Just to be extra safe, I set up a max beacon with resistance 2 in case anything went wrong. I took a nap in a villager's bed and then went to the outpost on day 833. Usually whenever I build a farm in Minecraft I manage to mess something up, but the raid farm worked perfectly. Some Vex did end up escaping at one point, but thanks to my beacon and full armor they barely did anything. I stayed at the farm for the whole day and the loot was insane. In just 10 minutes I had more totems than I could ever need, emeralds, crossbows and saddles. I realised I had Bad Omen 5 and didn't want World War 3 starting at my base, so I needed to get rid of it. I found what I thought was a cow, but it was just a really well disguised horse. I then found a proper cow and cleared myself of Bad Omen. Day 834, I arrived home and organised all the leftover stuff from the farm. Also, it's been over a week in Minecraft days since I did any scamming, and that's unacceptable. I spent the night clearing trees and working on the cliff. Day 835, I was still working on the cliff, trying to blend it into the natural hills. Then I decided to fight the Wither. Cue the music, let's go.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Hey! Big Smoke! It's me, Carl! Chill!
I went home and celebrated my victory with some scamming. It was great. Day 836, I enchanted a new elytra because I was going on a quest. A quest to find a Mesa. Then I got distracted and looted this bastion, but anyway, quest to find the Mesa. I've already found a few in this world, but I never made a note of the coordinates, so we're back to square one. For the next 2 days I just flew thousands of blocks out. The Mesa decided to no longer exist, but finally it did exist. Nearly 80,000 blocks out. It had taken so long to get here there was no way I was leaving without decimating the natural resources. I shoveled red sand all night, and on day 839 I set up a max beacon so I could insta mine terracotta. Once I had enough I set up a portal, got onto the roof and flew home. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced flying in a straight line over a bedrock wasteland at 3 AM, but it kind of messes with your head. Day 840, I did some trading to fix my elytras and made an insane amount of money. I'd actually run out of andesite and had to go mine more. But let's get on to why I'm even doing all this. Some of you who've watched the original 100 days might remember I have a wolf called Sun. Unlike my cat Moon, which I've admittedly showered with love, I've kind of neglected Sun. So to make up for everything, I'm going to build him his own special tower. By day 843, I have finished the main structure and started on the main focus of the build, an orange roof. I used polished red sandstone for the frame and some orange terracotta mixed with acacia for the roof itself. Day 844, the build was done, and I think the mushroom forest adds a really cool atmosphere. I spent the night adding lanterns to the tower, but they didn't look right and I ended up taking them down. Day 845, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in this build, starting with adding a stone wall. Day 846, I was extending the cliff because I wanted some more space to build. That does also mean I got to terraform the entire thing. As the day came to an end, I took a look at the cliff and thought to myself, I could put a portal in there. But first I had to spend all of day 847 sitting in a shed. I don't mind AFKing farms, but I just want to play the game, you know? Day 848, my andesite and cobblestone supplies were once again running low, so I dug down to set up a max beacon. I almost immediately found diamonds, which I was super happy about. I don't know what it was about this particular spot, but I found loads of diamonds. I returned home late into the night of day 849 and repaired my pickaxes by trading with the prisoners. Day 850, it was time for the best part of any mining trip, using fortune on all the ores. I mined down some coal and other stuff, but what we're interested in is the diamonds. From 37 diamond ore, I got 103 diamonds, which is absolutely insane. I added them all to my beacon and we've only got the final layer left. Right, back to cliff building. I also spotted the world's stupidest squid. For the rest of the night, I continued to work on the cliff. Day 851, I finished the portal, which meant it was finally time for me to take down the original one I've been using since I began this world. Day 852, I was gathering some dark oak wood when I spotted this village, which gave me an idea. If I bred some of the villagers from here in the nearby swamp, I could get some swamp villagers. Of course, transporting this villager was a complete headache, but I got him into his new prison. I'm not even going to act like I meant something else, it is a prison. Day 853, I didn't do any kidnapping or anything like that, and then I definitely didn't steal a bunch of food from the village. I'm going to call him Swampbert. There was no way I was going to travel 2,000 blocks back home with him, so instead I started building a shortcut through the nether. Day 854, it was time for me and Swampbert to make the journey. Things nearly went wrong when a ghast showed up, but I took care of it. The incident with Wraith was still fresh in my mind, so I cleared out a space behind the portal just in case something went wrong. I got Swampert through safe and sound, but I didn't really know what to do with him. Well, you can have fun in this glass box, I guess. Day 855, well, I'll just let this play out.
Psych!
Yeah, you didn't think I'd really just let him die, did you? After that terrible morning, I spent the day adding this stone staircase into the cliff. I also decided to transform this area into a nice little beach. Day 856, I'm finishing off the beach and I think it's a great addition. I then got back to work on the stone wall. Day 857, I was like, nah, this cliff ain't big enough. Why don't I just build some more? I thought this place could be like some kind of outpost, so I added this archery practice area. At night, I got to work adding this path leading up to the tower. I felt like if there really were soldiers here, this place would be pretty well used, so the path is a lot more worn down than the stone roads in the city. Day 858, I was working on this fire pit, adding some nether wart blocks to represent raw meat. I also did the usual thing with the sea lanterns, but this time I hid them under brown carpet. Day 859, I had to do a bit of scamming. The government can't tax me, because I'm the government. I decided what would really bring this area to life would be some tents. I made this red one, and on day 860, I built this white one. Day 861, I wanted to make a yellow tent, but I didn't have any dye, so it was time for some flower picking. With all the tents done, it was time to texture the ground. This took me the next 3 days to do because I had to make sure I added all those little details that really bring a build together. I'm super happy with how this area turned out and I think it's definitely got the vibe of an outpost. With that project finished, I decided it was time to complete my diamond beacon. I'm not going mining because I just can't be bothered. Instead, I'm going to be stealing. My plan was to just get the remaining diamonds from end cities, but I must have robbed the wrong people. I only found 6 diamonds and ended up giving up on day 865. I thought that the diamond clay thing in 1.16 where you go out 7 blocks was patched. However, you guys let me know in the comments of 800 days that it actually does still work on 1.17. You just have to go out 2 blocks instead of 7. I spent the day mining and got myself 22 diamond ore. My fortune pickaxe turned that into 58 diamonds, which meant I had enough to finish the beacon. I was terraforming the cliff when a zombie verger showed up. I've done so much scamming and bad stuff, it's time I did something nice for the vergers. Let's kill this guy. Actually, I'm bored now, never mind. Day 867, I was terraforming. It's not fun to do and it's definitely not fun to watch, so let's skip to day 868 where I was building a house. There's a few stonemasons in my trading hall that I want to replace with farmers. I still want to be able to buy bricks though, so I'm just going to have them live in this house. Day 869, I was working on the 2nd floor of the house. I have a mate who asked me to build something Tudor styled, so shout out to you if you're watching this. Day 870, I was adding the details to the house. I needed crimson wood, so I headed into the nether. This piglin wanted a fight and it didn't end well. I also had to defend Mooshroom 2.0 from this creeper. Day 871, the house was almost finished. Apart from the missing half of the roof anyway. Also, I don't really show it, but I get attacked by phantoms basically every night on this world and it genuinely drives me insane. Then this happened. Oh yeah, just make it worse. I'd like to add I was playing the game at around 5 in the morning, so I really was not feeling like dealing with that gaping hole. I instead spent the night working on the interior of the house, with the 1st floor being a shop for the stonemasons. Day 873, no, I'm done. I'm done. Nothing like a bit of deforestation at 5 AM. Day 874, I was working on the 2nd floor, trying to make it look like a workshop where the stonemasons produce all the different blocks they sell. Finally, for the top floor, I added some bookshelves, barrels and plants. This is genuinely the nicest thing I've ever done for the vergers, so they better appreciate it. I spent the night working on the road because I didn't want to deal with the vergers when I was almost falling asleep at my desk. 7 hours of sleep later, we're at day 875 with some insane boat gameplay. Everything went well and I got all the vergers in. What are you doing on there? Now that I had extra slots in my trading hall, I could get some more farmers. The only problem was that all my vergers had either despawned or chosen to live in this tunnel. I spent the night getting 2 of them into the trading hall, but I had no idea where I was going to get more. Then I realized there was one man, one savior who could fix everything, and that man was the one and only Swampert. I spent day 876 getting him into the breeder and then realized the other verger had disappeared. I'm gonna need to borrow you for a long time. I wanted to make extra profits with my vergers, so I spent the night farming wheat. Day 877, I fed Swampert and Edna, that's what I'm gonna call the librarian, and soon I had a new worker. Sorry, I meant child. I did some farming and also leveled the new guys up. Luckily, they both wanted to buy pumpkins. What would have happened if they didn't? Well, murder, obviously. Day 878, I needed to wait for the kids to grow up so I could start scamming them. I decided to kill some time by adding another hot air balloon to my town. I mean, the first try did end up looking more like a blob than a balloon. Day 880, I finally finished the balloon. Let's go check on the villagers. Wait, what? You know what this means, right? The scamming empire just got even bigger. Oh, this is a great day. All the new villagers made this grey cat spawn and I spent the night chasing after it. I realised there was a thunderstorm, which was great news. When a Mooshroom gets struck by lightning, it turns into a brown Mooshroom. Unfortunately, Mooshie 2.0 turned into dust. Day 881, I set up a max beacon at this village with resistance 2. I wanted to do a raid and get hero of the village, but whenever I do a raid I get demolished by the Vex. Hopefully the beacon helps. I headed over to the outpost near my raid farm and killed the inhabitants. I could narrate this raid, but nah, time for some music.
Hey bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
I did it. I really did it. I saved the 2 villagers that are left. You're welcome, guys. At night, I visited my ocean monument to get some more sea lanterns. Day 883, oi, no tourists. As I was saying, day 883, the scamming really was out of control. My new hero status meant some of these guys were paying 1 emerald per 2 pieces of wheat. There was a project that I really wanted to work on, and that was a gold XP farm. I do already have a gold farm, but it's not super powerful and it doesn't give me any XP. Unfortunately, to build the farm I need 4,000 magma blocks. I doubt anyone wants to watch me mine magma blocks for 2 days straight, so instead let's just skip ahead. My pickaxes were nearly gone from mining all that magma, so I had to get them fixed. Unfortunately, this farm requires over a stack of chests. It was nice knowing you, Tree. I needed some more turtle eggs, so I headed to the usual place. I actually did feel bad for taking the eggs, but at the end of the day, this farm's gonna make me gold, and that's a lot more important. I also needed cobwebs for the farm and grabbed some from a nearby mine shaft. Day 887, there's a bit of a problem. This farm needs 11 honey blocks. My current amount of bees barely produces enough honey to craft 1 block per day. I spent the night trying to find as many nests as possible. Day 888, I set up my new honey operation. Using the nests from the greenhouse, as well as the stolen ones and some newly crafted hives, I was fully ready to become a professional beekeeper. Except it's raining, so the bees aren't going to come out. I passed the time with a bit of scamming and a bit of path building. It's the simple things in life. Day 889, it was a bright and sunny day. Now make children. I spent the day gathering up dandelions for yellow dye, cause yeah, it's time for another hot air balloon. Day 890, I was still building the balloon. I tried to make it bee themed, but it looked absolutely terrible and I ended up starting over in red. Day 891, I finished my red balloon and also finally had enough honey blocks. I headed into the nether and began building the farm. From now until day 900 I built the farm, so let's go over the highlights. As always, if you want to build the farm for yourself, the link will be in the description. Trying to push these minecarts into place made me question every choice I've ever taken in life. These droppers were so loud I had to mute the game, and also to top it all off, I built half the farm in the wrong place and had to reposition it. Oh, and it's day 900 and the farm's not finished. Genuinely the worst ending to a video ever, but I survived 900 days in hardcore Minecraft. That is going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. This video took me ages to make, so if you could help me out by dropping a like, it would mean a lot. Shout out to everyone boosting my Discord server. You guys are legends, and as always, the link to the Discord is in the description. If you have ideas for what you want me to do in 1000 days, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. By the way, follow my Twitter, please.